Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about NetVRk. So this is a project that we've heard a lot about recently, and we've actually heard about them kind of a little while ago, and we've kind of been following what they've been doing. And so just recently, they just started selling some of their NFTs. But let's go over what NetVRk is. So to kind of kick things off, so NetVRk is another metaverse, and we've been focusing on the metaverse lately just because we think this is going to be the next biggest thing happening in crypto. And this metaverse is VR focused. So a lot of you, man, you just purchased a VR headset maybe about a year ago in anticipation.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
It was
About
about
a
a year
year
ago,
ago.
and this was in anticipation to what? Oh, it was,
Facebook's Horizon,
yeah,
dude.
that's what it was.
Fake news.
Fake news, yeah.
Pretty much just been collecting dust since then. I tried it once. It's pretty cool, but for me, it's still too clunky. Not my cup of tea at the moment. I don't think we're there yet from a
Yeah,
hardware perspective.
we also got our own, I think Oculus 2, I would say like 6 months ago. And after maybe about 2 weeks of playing with it, we haven't really touched it since.
Exactly. I think that's a common.
Yeah,
I have a friend who also bought one, a Quest 2, maybe like 2 months ago. He was like real into it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and
yeah,
it's collecting dust at this point. I don't know if it's just a lack of, well, according to NetVRk, this is like they kind of break it down what's wrong with VR, right? In their sales pitch to the world. And
yeah.
one of their big problems in the VR space is a lack of content,
Yeah.
right?
Quality
There it
content
is,
specifically.
quality content. And it sounds like they could be onto something, dude.
I think
If there
they're
was
right.
quality content, people probably would play a lot longer than a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I used to play this zombie shooter game on the VR headset, and it was a multiplayer, so I was playing with a bunch of people. And I mean, there's a certain point where you get fatigued and you cannot play VR that much longer. So I
Yeah.
think that limit is about an hour or so, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is long enough. But if we're talking about spending more than an hour in the metaverse, I don't know. I think VR headsets have a little ways to go before they're like comfortable in the long term.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. I can't imagine myself personally. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fucking weak ass bitch or something. Like maybe I'm just too uncomfortable with things. But
Yeah.
if somebody has the right incentives, meaning like if I come from a corner of the planet and I'm living off of rice and like mint leaves or something like that every single day.
Yeah.
And I have the option to slap on a VR headset. It might be a little uncomfortable, 8 hours a day, and like make like a 5 times the amount of income by doing so.
Sure.
I could see where that would, work out, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So me, yeah, not having that need is just,
Yeah.
I guess I choose comfort over practicality at the moment, you
Yeah.
know.
We're privileged, in other words, I man.
Yeah, dude. We're
Yeah.
some spoiled ass fat Americans, dude. That's what it is.
So what NetVRk is doing is they're building out this big metaverse, and let me show you their land. So here, it's kind of like the overview of their land, and they're selling different size parcels, so epic, giant, large, and so forth. And they did this in August, I believe, and so they raised like 2.4 million in the land sales, and now just recently they have transport NFT sale, and it's happening today. It's happening right now, actually.
Very nice.
And so what they're doing is in this big old land. Well, you need to be able to traverse this land, right? And so what they're doing is they're selling transport vehicles.
So you're
And
telling me there's no teleportation abilities in this metaverse? At
it,
least none that have been spoken about?
that's a good idea. I mean, that's a good question because typically when you play some of the common virtual reality headset games, you teleport as a form of movement. Of course, you can kind of move around like by walking, but
Mm-hmm.
in order to minimize like being nauseated, teleportation seems to be the best bet. But we're talking about local teleportation, like taking a step forward, you're teleporting instead of moving forward. Otherwise, you get kind of like motion sickness. But anyway, this is NFTs that can help you transport yourself in the game. All right, we took a little bit of a break, and now we're back. And so where we left off was we were talking about Network's NFTs that they're announcing today, and these transport NFTs. But let me show you this, Iron Man. So these NFTs actually come from an artist. His name is John Park, and check this out, man. He's been a designer for Mandalorian, Transformers 4, Maze Runner, Godzilla, Spider-Man, Lone Ranger, War of the Planet of the Apes, Avatar sequels, so Deadpool. So he's been around the block, dude. And
So what is his role? He's just he makes everything for NetVRk.
Yeah. So well, not everything. I think he did this iteration of these transportation vehicles. And so they're working with John Park, known for his masterpiece designs and some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, including James Cameron and George Lucas. That being said, these transports aren't just visual pieces of art. They come with utility in NetVRk as well. Owning these transports allow you to traverse the metaverse in style by land, sea, and air. Owners will have the ability to teleport all onboard passengers to applicable locations across the map. Each transport will also enable the holder to get a higher share of staking rewards as well as a share at NetVRk reserve distributions. And here's
that's interesting. Owners will have the ability to teleport all on board. So it's like these vehicles, I wonder if they're actually not mobile vehicles. It's just you get in and it activates like a transport function where you could teleport to some other location.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works. I don't know. It's to be seen.
Well, that's what it says. It says that.
Exactly. They worded it that way. So that's what I'm left to assume.
Yeah.
Right. Because as we know, like in a shared metaverse experience where the users own like different pieces of land, right? Because they did have a land sale. So you're not able to just traverse through property that you do not own, at least from a historical perspective, like in previous metaverses, right? So it's difficult to achieve land travel when you don't have the rights to be in that person's land. You know what I mean?
I think you're taking it a little bit literal, aren't you? I mean, you should be able to just walk across the land, right?
Well, you can walk, but I mean, can the function of like transport vehicles be recognized by every parcel within this metaverse?
I would assume, yes.
Okay.
That would be my assumption. It's not like Decentraland where your parcel has to recognize the assets. So the architecture of NetVRk, I would assume, is different than that. So if you buy one of these vehicles, you should be able to transport, but it's not like how you would expect that you just take your car and you kind of drive it. You more like teleport there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
but here's why, because if you think about it, like in the metaverse, you should be able to just teleport to locations, right? And just skip the little scenery, right? If you want to.
Well, what's the point of having these like
these four-wheeled vehicles, right?
Yeah.
2 wheels.
Why not just sell transporters like Somnium Space did, right?
Yeah, like teleporters.
They invented these teleporters, and people could buy them and put them on their land and charge people to use them, right?
Agreed. I don't know.
I guess it really doesn't matter. The metaverse is supposed to be weird. It's not supposed to make sense in a lot of cases. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, it doesn't really
traveling in a yacht. Like, if you're gonna teleport there, like what's the difference? But nonetheless, so logistics aside, these NFTs, they range from $200 all the way to 15 grand, which is it covers a wide range of wallet sizes out there. So we got the whales probably interested in the yachts, and then the regular folks like you and I interested in the motorcycle. But this is only transporting maybe 1 or 2 people, where the yacht can transport like maybe more than 2 people, right? 15, 20, maybe something like that.
And they said something about it's directly correlationary to like staking rewards as well. Yes. I guess you could stake these assets and get some kind of reward for that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The designs are great.
Yeah.
I like the designs, man. These are
these are great.
Shout out to John, man. Really unique style here.
I totally agree. Like these look like some legitimate future cars, dude.
Yeah.
Like I think you're gonna see cars like this on the real road within the next 10 to 20 years, I think.
Agreed.
They look pretty cool.
I mean, Cybertruck is halfway there, right?
Pretty much. It's very in line with that aesthetic. So
Yeah.
Cybertruck's probably like setting some new like design trend.
Yeah.
I'm sure, much like auto manufacturers. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of stuff like this. So pretty cool.
Yeah. So this launched today. Let me see if I have a timeline here. October 21st and Friday, October 22nd. No, yeah. So it's through Spores. So it's a different platform here. And through Spores, you'll be able to purchase these NFTs. So Spores is a NFT marketplace that allows for, I guess, any creator to mint and sell stuff here. Um, okay, so yeah, that's happening between, I guess, yesterday and today, and it's one way to generate some income to pay for the development of the game. Right. This is sort of our premise that making stuff in the metaverse is expensive. And in
Hmm.
order to pay for that expense, you need to sell something to the community that you engage, and that will pay for the development of everything. So, yeah. So on top of selling tokens to investors, you can sell NFTs, which is what Network is taking advantage of. So yeah, that's a good angle. We predicted this was going to happen, and it's actually happening.
Right on, dude. Pats on the back, Will.
Yeah.
So what else are they selling, dude? Have we gone over the land sale yet?
um, Did we go over the land sale? Well, the land sale happened in August, and they ended up raising 2.4 million in land.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean now they're taking the next steps and selling the actual content, the traversal gear for this
Hmm.
world. So I'm pretty sure this is not where it stops. I'm pretty sure they're going to be selling more content very similar to this. But it's interesting that they tied an artist to like the actual NFT design and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're picking up uh what's the like they've taken notes, I
Yeah.
think, from the
No, they
NFT art industry, the
agreed.
PFP space. Like a lot of these projects,
Agreed.
their main marketing angle was like the artist behind such asset, right? And it makes sense, right? And you have a notable artist with a lot of accolades, like creating some kind of anything, like
Mm-hmm.
it's going to motivate people to buy it.
That's right.
There's going to be more value perception in that, right?
Yeah, agreed.
As opposed to somebody nobody knows about. You might look cool. It might be like artistically, you know, objectively a nice piece of art, but because it doesn't have those accolades, dude, it's just not as valuable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's definitely a good angle and an exposure to more art, and blockchain has given artists an ability to generate a ton of revenue. So yeah, this is good on all accounts. But one thing I wanted to talk about in terms of network is the architecture of the game design. So we talk about this a lot, Iman. We think about the metaverse a lot since that's kind of the space we're in already. And one of the ways that we differentiate the different metaverses is by how they're able to allow creators to jump in. And so there's really two paths. Either you create a builder, just like Decentraland has, just like the Sandbox has, or you also leverage an SDK, which very few metaverses are leveraging.
Mm.
The main one leveraging that is Decentraland, which is why we're in Decentraland because we're using the SDK. So there's different ideologies, right? A builder allows people who have no coding skills to make content, which is awesome. And then the SDK allows builders or creators to leverage their coding skills to make extremely unique content. And we're talking
Mm.
about super unique, where in Decentraland, you could use the SDK to make content that interfaces with DeFi products, right? You cannot do that with a builder, right? You can't do that. So, I mean, as you can tell, I lean on the side of the SDK because of the uniqueness, right? It really enables what I think the metaverse can be, which is extremely crazy, unique, weird. And the builder is more constrained, but it allows more people to leverage it. So I want to get your thoughts on all that, I man.
I think there's definitely a place for both. I like the terminology that's being thrown out there nowadays is like general purpose metaverses, kind of like how there's general purpose blockchains,
Mm-hmm.
which is like what Ethereum is, right? And then there's more niche focused blockchains, like let's call
Wax,
like which one?
wax.
Yeah, Wax or Flow, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they're very
Game focused.
narrow in their approach, or what it is, what transactions they're aiming to, service on their chains.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. Like if you're building a much more narrow, like metaverse experience, basically a game, maybe like an Axie Infinity type metaverse, you probably don't need an SDK. You could probably build like an infinite number of builder assets for an Axie like metaverse,
Sure. Yeah.
and allow the player base to just kind of populate their lands with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but for general purpose type metaverse experiences where, yeah, the possibilities should be infinite and it should be a constantly evolving like landscape and ecosystem, then for sure, SDK is the way to go, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that appeals more to like the true like metaverse, funkiness, and like it should feel like just a mesh of like happenings all in one space.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Where you can't like put your finger on any pulse. There's just so much happening, right? Like that's what we want the metaverse to turn out to be.
Yeah, for sure. And so NetVRk is taking the approach of the builder. And so through their builder, you're able to make content and mint that content as NFTs, very similar to Sandbox. Mm-hmm. And the reason why this is a big deal is because it has different levels of potential, right? And one of the biggest projects that we were talking about just a few days ago in our YouTube channel was Roblox. So Roblox is getting closer to kind of like a player-owned world. They're building these aspects of ownable and content, ownable digital content. However, they're not leveraging in NFTs or blockchain or anything like that. But having said that, they have 50 million daily active users and 1 million developers. And they're a platform of an SDK. You make, weird stuff in Roblox, right? If you're a developer. So, and they're worth $40 billion, right? And then you take a look at Decentraland, which is completely ownable on the blockchain, and they're worth about $1.1 billion, right? So there's 40x potential between Decentraland and Roblox. And then you take a look at Sandbox. Sandbox is a builder that you can mint NFTs, right? Very similar to NetVRk. And so Sandbox, I think, is worth like $600 million, something like that. And so I think the metaverses that leverage SDKs are going to be more valuable, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to be much more like Roblox in the sense that they have, potentially millions of developers.
I think they'll have more engaging content. Yeah. And as a result of that, more players and more developers, right? Well, maybe not more developers.
Well, if there's more players, there's going to be more developers, right? Because the developers are going to see this, right? And see value in that.
That's true. If there's a lot more players, then of course there's going to be a developer race to like take market share there, right? If you have any kind of ability and you're able to leverage the SDK, there's a lot of potential there for yourself as a creator. And the same, you could still make, like in NetVRk's case, you're going to be able to monetize your builder creations, right? You're going to be able to mint them into NFT assets, and I'm sure they're going to host some kind of marketplace, or maybe they're going to leverage Spores as that marketplace, which is what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And people are going to be able to, create marketable products for this metaverse. So whether or not people are going to be interested in buying them and, deploying them, it's a different wait and see type tale, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. I think if you have a world that's more focused on some sort of gameplay type, then yeah, you don't need an SDK. You need a really robust builder, right? Something like Sandbox is building. So the both models can be successful. I just take the route of the SDK because I want to be in a metaverse that is unpredictable versus a builder. Yeah, which is builders are predictable. You kind of know what you can build, right? Because you can see the tools, right? So, but having said that, there's still a ton of potential here. Any metaverse that's being developed is going to be interesting. I think the reason why we're talking about the metaverses are because we believe that this is going to be the next sector that really explodes. So right now we're exploring everything that's happening, and yeah. So this is NetVRk.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the metaverses that are going to, I think, succeed early on are the ones that can build the strongest communities and like passionate support for. So, I mean, arguably, a large percentage of that effort is hinged on the marketing efforts of
Yeah.
whoever's on that team, right? And Decentraland notoriously is not like marketing focused.
Yeah.
It's more like philosophical, more focused on achieving some type of actual decentralized ecosystem.
Yeah.
So there's more like ideological
Mm-hmm.
uh, endeavor as opposed to something like Sandbox and NetVRk. I mean, they're pinging all the marketing check marks, right? Like they know building partnerships is a big deal. They know, bringing on these big name artists to create their assets is a big deal. So
Yeah.
these are all things that appeal to like a broader audience, right? So yeah, and that might not be necessarily like who can create the most like actual engaging experience right away. It's just who could build that passionate community,
Yeah, and really to kind of wrap everything up, they have a very good marketing plan, which is just talking about the different partners that they've been connecting with. And
Mm-hmm.
but if you notice, all the partners you read these articles, they all say that they're setting up their headquarters in this metaverse, which that enables these partners to say that they're in the metaverse, which is a huge value add to them because everybody knows, including Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg has put the planet on notice that metaverse is the biggest thing that's going to happen, in the next couple of years. So every project is looking to exist in the metaverse, and the easiest way to exist is to say we have a headquarters in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
think,
the same thing happened if you go to Decentraland's Crypto Valley, it's a district. You're gonna see a mecca of like crypto HQs to spread throughout.
yeah,
So this already happened in that
yeah,
metaverse. I mean, Decentraland has a multi-year head start on everybody basically.
yeah,
So of course, these newer projects are picking up on that trend, but they're leveraging it like equally or maybe harder, like from a marketing perspective, right? Like at face value, they're partnering with all these games, but
yeah,
when it comes to actually delivering games,
yeah. That's
there's a
the hard
lot more
part.
detail to that.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Of course.
yeah.
Okay, so that's been Network. Let us know if you have any questions or any thoughts. Let us know if we got anything wrong. And if the founders of Network want to come on and chat, it's always open. We definitely like talking about this stuff, so you're more than welcome to join us. And make sure you follow our Twitter account, the Block Runner, and like, subscribe, do all those things, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace out.